Hi, this is Scary with Scary's Wide World of Mysteries. There's been something that I've been noticing a lot of lately, and this is going to be kind of a rant, I guess, but I'm not going to rant too much because I want my message to come across clearly. What I have been noticing is that a lot of individuals like to project judgment. Um, It seems to be like a favorite pastime for a lot of individuals, and I'm not judging anybody for that, but let me just blow the lid off of this judgment construct. Um, when you are projecting judgment on somebody, you are basically showing your ass. Um, you're basically really, um, I don't want to say exploiting, but you're kind of like showing off your ignorance because we are all different, like, elements. We are all unique elements in this universe, and we cannot even begin to say what somebody else should or should not be doing based on our own personal assessment, because we don't know them. We don't know what they're made of. We don't know what experiences make up their being. We don't know what elements they are made out of. We don't know what's in their heart. So when we project a judgment on somebody, or we say, oh, well, that person shouldn't have done this, or they should have done that, we're really displaying ignorance in the fact that when you mix certain elements together, there's a reaction. There's always a reaction, but if you don't know what element you're working with and you're mixing elements together, you don't really know exactly what is going to happen from that. There could be an explosion, you could create gold, who knows. But my point is that you can't really judge anybody because you don't know what's going to work for them. You don't know what's going to mix well with that element. But, and maybe they don't even know, but that's the whole point of this Earth experience, this assimilation simulation, is that we are all kind of like scientists. We are all experimenting, and that is all we can really pride ourselves on being, is the fact that we are here with our free will to do what we will. And we don't always know all of the information, or we don't always know what's going to happen when we mix certain elements together, or we go this way or we go that way, we don't know. So this judgment thing is like something that people like to do, but I want to also say that people need to stop being afraid of people projecting judgment on them, because it doesn't even matter what anybody else thinks, because they're completely coming from their own experience, and they are a different element. They are a unique element, and what worked for them may not work for you. So judgment is merely a projection of ignorance, and we need to stop fearing judgment. Sure, it's a pastime that many people like to engage in, but it's really a waste of time when we really should be concerned about learning what works best for us through our own process of experimentation, which is through trial and error. So when we focus too much on judgment, on being afraid of people projecting judgment on us, we're really stunting our own progress, and we're allowing our ourselves to be stunted in that way. And I have a friend, he's an old friend of mine. He has a tattoo, and it's 4 words. It says, "Be strong, be wrong." Okay? And I love that tattoo. Like, I seriously want to quote him and get a tattoo on me that says, "Be strong, be wrong," because guess what? The only way that we learn what actually works for us is through trial and error. What is error? Error is making a mistake. Okay? And when we make a mistake, then that means we possibly did something that was wrong. But can we really make mistakes? I mean, is it really a mistake when we learn something from taking that action? So it kind of begs the question, is there really, we really make mistakes? It's a learning process, and we have to engage in making these trials and these errors before we can figure out what works for us, because we are different and unique elements. So be strong and be wrong. I mean, celebrate failures, because we learn so much more from our failures than we ever do from our successes. And that being said, we also need to be aware that something that worked for us in the past may not always yield that same result for us always. You know, we must always be on our toes. We must always be continually evolving through this trial and error process. We may do something one way for a really long time and it works for us for a while, and then suddenly one day we wake up and we do that same thing, and we end up with an error message. Okay? Hey, guess what? That means that you get to evolve in that moment, because you get to grow from that experience. You're like, oh, okay, so doing this all the time works sometimes, but once you get to a certain point in your evolution, it no longer works. So now you can find another route, and you should really look at it as like a really fucking cool adventure. Like, just get out there and stop being afraid of judgment and make your fucking mistakes. Like, be excited about your failures. Like, seriously? Like, learn what not to do so that you can learn what to do. Like, that's what we're here to do, people. And that is such an exciting thing, because it really brings in a lot of freedom. Like, freedom from fear of judgment. Like, what? Come on. Who doesn't want that shit? Like, sure, we have to care to a certain extent what others think about us, you know, but we really don't. Like, we really fucking don't have to give a fuck about what anyone else thinks about us. So, and they can project all the judgment they want on us, but that doesn't make them right. That doesn't make them right. And you know what? Maybe that's their path of learning. Maybe that's the errors that they are learning from. So don't judge them for judging you. I know, it's weird, but you know, that's just the way it is. And when I first made this channel, I made it as a way to kind of like get things out there that were that I was thinking about, or that were like weighing down on my mind. And then it kind of evolved into this place of where I am on a journey, and I'm sharing this journey with you guys. I hope you guys are all enjoying your journeys as much as I am. This Earth School is so amazing. Like, there's nothing that compares to it. There's absolutely nothing that compares to this Earth School. So the fact that we are here is just like the biggest honor in, you know, existence to me. And this is just a just an opinion, but still, that's the way we need to look at everything in our life. Like everything that goes wrong and everything that goes right. Look at it from a vantage point of how lucky are you that you got to have that experience and you got to learn that lesson. And there's so much freedom in that. Like, stop letting fear chain you. Fear is such a chain. That is something that is dying slowly and is going to be continued to get dismantled. But fear is a chain. Stop feeding those fears. Be strong, be wrong. Alright, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.